0.905.
All right, let's take a look at that. So you can make this either lap. I just do it on the first lap because it has more attempts to get it right. Although, watch out for qualifying in ARCA at road courses. You only get 5 minutes for the session anyways. So you really, if you don't get out right away, you're only going to have 1 lap. And you might get 2 if you leave right away. So going to the out lap up to the first lap here, I'm going to be pretty much doing what I do in normal oval, where I go really wide and then try to turn down at the last second to straighten my exit. This has nothing to do with the actual line of this corner. I'm just trying to get as straight as possible, and it really doesn't matter much. So just take this corner however. This is maybe worth like a couple hundredths to get this right. So I just got it straight as early as possible. And then as we are going into the corner here, so turn 1, I will go over my points because road courses, I think that's pretty important. So I brake pretty much at the beginning of this uphill slope. If you're braking on the uphill slope, then you're most likely not going to make the corner. So I brake as much as I can without locking up the tires and wheel hopping. I have to wait fairly long on the downshift so that I don't wheel hop, because you're going to have to start turning in a little bit here under braking. About 40% braking is a little bit more than I want to have when I'm turning in, so you just got to be really careful when you're doing that. But the goal is just to get to the curb without touching it. So as I start turning the wheel, you can see as I turn my wheel, the brake comes to a trail. Very, very correlated. So as I'm turning, the brake comes off. Now I'm down to that trail brake, and I just wait on that until my car makes the weight shift so that I can get back onto partial throttle, kind of whip the car around. You can see that the car kind of comes around on the rear as I make this transition. If you throttle up too early, you're not going to get that, and you're just going to go off track or have to slow way down. So the theme of Tsukuba is you need to trail brake for longer than you think. So here, this might even have been just a tad early. It worked out fine though, but in like a race setting, I should have braked a little bit more. Like, you don't really even want to come out to this curb. And so going through these corners, just full throttle this first one, and then I like to be on the brake before the divot of the second S here. So again, I'm trying to make this a straight line because cars like to brake in a straight line. So you see how I kind of draw out the straightest line I can going through the second chicane, or sorry, the second S. And I start my braking there. The angle you take into this corner almost doesn't matter. You don't have enough time to get wide here regardless. So our goal is just going to be the park the car on apex. So you see here, I enter the corner really straight. And again, oh, dang it. Sorry. So you'll see again, heavy braking as my wheel is straight, heavy braking as my wheel is straight, downshift when my wheel is straight, and then I let off the brake into a trail as I do my mega turn, and then as the weight shifts, I bring around the rear with the gas. And again, you don't really want to come out to this, you don't want to come out to the curb there, because this isn't a momentum-based corner. This is all like a timing-based weight shift corner. So as long as I make that apex and my rear starts kicking around, I can get on the throttle, and wherever I end up, I end up. You'll see sometimes that you'll even miss the corner, slide up a bit here. Like, let's say that I missed this corner and slid up about a full lane. You still wait on the brake to make that diamond, because that's the only way that you're going to make this tight of an exit. Okay? So just basically wait on the brake until you get that mega turn to be able to make exit with straight angle so that you can go as close to full throttle as possible. And then this next series of corners, I took in first gear. You can take it in second. I prefer it in first. As we get into the race run, we probably want to be taking this in second, but it's just a simple right-hander, semi-fast. Apex as late as you can. Late as you can while still getting to the curb. You want to set yourself up a little bit on the right. If you do slide up, it's not the end of the world, because this next corner isn't make or break. But as I'm coming back on throttle here, I go to second gear. You want to be in second gear before this left-hander here, because this left-hander was made for like pedaling the throttle through second gear. And again, not sliding out to the curb, we need to set up for this left-hander here. So I'm setting up for the left-hander. My marker here is going to be basically braking as I'm getting to this green patch right here. You can send it a little bit deeper than I did, but it doesn't matter. Like, it would be really sketchy if you send it any deeper than I did. So we're going to try to late apex this corner. The later you apex, the straighter exit you're going to have, which is going to help. You might feel like the early apex is what you want, but this corner is so long. It's such a long corner that getting down there early and rolling the bottom is not nearly as fast as cooking it a little more and just gradually trail braking down to a late apex. Because you can see that I'm able to get my wheel straight really quickly. And you see I made a little error opening the wheel too early. I could have kept it like this a little bit longer. If I just kept it down a little bit longer, that's like another 10th. Because I just brought it up too late, or sorry, too early, and I had to keep it off the grass, which is unfortunate. Okay, now here's the real moneymaker corner. This is the NASCAR corner. So basically, my point is I'm going to get on the brakes at this beginning of the pit line, the white line here. Get on the brakes there, and then I want to get it into second really early. Some people, you might want to take this in third later in the run, but at least for hot lap, I like to get into second. And I want to kick the car loose a little bit. I don't want to drive this car tight, because if you drive this car tight, you're not going to make this bottom. So a lot of people go for like a late apex, which is completely fair, but I liked this line here where I kicked the car loose into second. Here, sorry, I'll play it full speed. I kicked the car. See how it gets a little loose because I kicked into second so early? And now it's just hooking that bottom for me, and I just let it slide up on exit. I lose a little bit of exit speed out of it, but I'm able to really pin it to the bottom with a decent amount of speed, which in my opinion is just as good, if not better, if executed well. One more time. Brake, early downshift to second, get the car a little bit slidey, get it down to the bottom, and then just drive it up the hill. All this green area is runoff that you can use, won't get a off track for it, won't get a penalty for it, so feel free to use it as wide as you want. As for the race, let's talk about the race real quick. So I'll show you what points I think are going to be different. So you're going to be backing up this braking zone the longer you get into the run. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, you do not want to be overdriving this corner at all. It's just death. I think that this corner here was going to be unchanged. I think this has to be in first. This is so sharp. There's no way that even on old tires, second is viable here. Now, this corner right here, I can see maybe becoming a second gear corner. It's going to be slower in my opinion, but if you're sliding your tires later in the run with first gear here, definitely make this all a second gear combination. And then this late apex here, I don't think is going to be super viable with older tires, so you might just want to get down there and roll it, save your tires. And then lastly, probably take a little bit wider of an arc than I did in this last corner for the longer run. Use a little bit more brake, bring it down a little later, maybe let off a little earlier. Just making it more of a traditional apexing type of corner than what I attempted there, because I do think it's good, but probably not for a full race. Alrighty, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you all on the track.